Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some more Timberborn. Been playing a lot of this game, been having a lot of fun, and a contest has come up and it is time to go check it out. We're going to run with the folktales just because, and then we're going to go check out Helix Mountain, the contest map. So it's part of a contest being run currently on the Timberborn Discord, which if you're not a part of, you really ought to check it out because this is not the only map that has been put out that is new and different. So I've been enjoying hanging out in there and seeing what all is new and upcoming before it gets there. There's some good folks, and like this, there are contests. So yeah, definitely take a good look at it. See, what do we want to call it? That'll work. Onesville. Okay, before we go too far, what I think we're going to do is we're going to put down some paths. Boom. Boom. And boom. Okay, so some of the first things we have to do, we have to put down a gatherer's hut. Let's see about sticking it over here. Yeah, that ought to work. Let's also put down a couple of lumberjack flags. Okay, got that. Let's figure out some kind of storage. And we also have to figure out some kind of water. Now, all of this is totally fine starting out. Okay, so we got water taken care of. We need some kind of farmer. And that's probably going to fill up our beginning beavers with jobs. Also, as they collect those, we have to see about having a place to store water. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got that taken care of, and we also need a warehouse. Start with that. And once they're done with that, I don't think there's anything else really pressing. So we'll put this out there. We will set where to cut trees. So we're just going to get this whole area. And this one. Get all of that. Any trees in there are fair game. So let's let these guys get started. We'll set them up to go fast mode. And we'll take a look at where the water comes from. So looking at the flow of the water, we can go back this way. Trace it back. That's going to be a good reservoir. That's blocked off. That's neat. Let's see. Where does this come from? This comes from up this hill. That looks like a lot of water coming through. Okay. So that's where that comes from. And I think I saw another waterfall over here. Yep. There's some water coming down from up here. Okay. So to monopolize this water, we'd also have to block this off. Which doesn't... Ooh. There's another singular source out there. That's cool. Okay. So we would need to block this off. We probably need to block off an area over here. And as much as I don't like to do it, we're going to have to mark a couple of those for demolition so that we can build a pathway. And they're not over there doing that just yet. So neither of these are currently connected. We need to get that connected real quick. There we go, connected. I'd much rather have like a straight line there, and we are going to lose those resources because when you demolish resources, even though they are cutting down a tree, a potentially fully mature tree, it doesn't actually give you those resources. Okay? We are one segment away from having everything connected and can get rid of this loop. Okay, don't need you. Done. Okay. So it looks like water's taken care of. We just need storage for that water. And it looks like our biggest limiting factor at the moment is wood. And that's going to be one of our limiting factors for quite a while. So there's not really any getting around that. So we'll just let them do their thing, and we'll continue to build out the paths. Part of why I built up the hill a bit is so that we can build these. So our beavers need a place to live. If we don't give them a place to live and grow a family, then they won't have families. And we need those to continue growing our population. And it looks like they just finished on our farmer's hut. Okay, let's just that's probably enough. Okay, we've got some stuff going in now for food, and we should soon have a place to store all of our stuff. Let's go ahead and bump that up a little bit on the priority, because we've got one water that just finished, and having a place to store this food as it finishes is kind of a big deal. It's something that we for sure need to be able to make it through a drought. But if we've got one, you know, that should be enough for now. Looks like the water's going pretty darn quick. Let's see, how far are we? We're 9 out of 15 on that. That's doing pretty okay. So how many do we have unemployed? We currently have 0 unemployed. And I think we're kind of stuck with that till one of our children grow up. And once the children grow up, we really need one of these. Actually, no, I think I'm going to leave housing up there, and we'll just go ahead and slap that in. We need that to also be slightly higher than average. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so that would mean they finish out this inventor, because now we have an unemployed, before they finish out the housing. It's okay for the first couple of cycles or so to not really have housing, but if you need more beavers, you kind of need the housing. And what I like to do, since I think we've got everything else nailed down, is I can build level 2 after level 1 goes. And while we're up here looking at the area, go ahead and add a little cut trees area. There we go. That means they'll be able to go get those as well. Will work. Okay, connect up that path. Got food going. So really, we're just waiting on logs for some things to finish up. Yeah, let's see. Let's jump ahead and see what we finish out. Okay, so it's nighttime and time for a little bit of planning, and I'm looking at how fast they're making it through the carrots. I think it really wouldn't be a terrible idea to slap down another farmhouse and take a couple of these guys out of the district center. So we had 2 children grow up, they were unemployed, so they'll work on that. We'll bump up the priority on that so it takes place of the housing build out, because we just hit enough housing for everybody, so they should start generating baby beavers here fairly soon. Once we get more workforce, we'll be able to do just a little bit more. One of the next things that we're going to do is we're going to go for a forester. That is high on the list of priorities. It's up at 60, so we're like a little bit of research away. And in prep for that, I have maybe made a tiny bit of a mistake over here. We need to clear at least that out, and we need to see about getting some power going. So we're going to go with a water wheel. That's not a year-round supply of stuff, but, you know, it's something. And when that finishes clearing out, we're going to slap down a lumber mill, because we need the lumber mill to be able to build the forester's hut. There we go. Oh, come on. So close. Finish getting these last few bushes out. We're not going to get the resources from them, but I think we're probably doing pretty okay on food. We should be able to make it through the first drought, which ought to be coming up fairly soon. I wanted to make a point about these berries. So something that the beavers don't do very well over here with all of these crops is stagger them. So you get one big load of food and stuff all at once. So it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of storage. but you kind of need a rotating stock. Otherwise, you're going to go from totally full to nothing, and you're going to leave crops on the ground. So what I like to do is I like to leave these berry patches intact. It's kind of sort of necessary for long term. Let's see, probably want to put our forester thing out here somewhere. We'll find a good spot and finish getting the path out to it. Oh, come on, just get this one left. Come on. And we are actually harvesting enough that our storage ought to be pretty darn full. Yeah, 144 out of 200. We should be able to make it through a drought, no problem. Now, we can actually put in a lumber mill. We're going to be short a worker until we get somebody new in, or take it from one of the other jobs. So, let's see, lumberjack flag still covers that, so as soon as this is out, we can get rid of that lumberjack flag, and we'll free up one of the beavers until we get the forestry area done. So, let's see, up here, beavers can't make it to this upper row, but that's not that hard to fix. We just have to get wooden stairs, which also requires planks. But since we finally hit the research, we're going to grab the forester's hut and go ahead and place that somewhere. We want to not take over berry area if at all possible. Okay, and that ought to do it. So we've got forester's hut going to go down as soon as we have the right resources. Now, let's connect you up with the path. There we go. Now we've got place for them to go. We're also going to need to put in another lumberjack flag or two out here, and that should get basically the whole region that can. I could place down more berries, but the berries that I place down aren't quite the same. They all, come up at the same time. Let's see, we currently have no children. It probably wouldn't be a terrible idea to put down another house. Or actually, let's see, that takes 70. Yeah, we'll be okay. We've got an open spot for a child to be born. And then we can start putting in those stairs. And we are about halfway done with the water wheel. We got to get that done before the first drought, because we really want to get that forestry hut done. Yeah, that's going to take a good bit of time, but there's really not much else that they're building. They're building this, and then the forester's hut. Like I said, we're still a little bit short on beavers, so it'll be okay. While we wait, we can probably go ahead and... Oh, here comes that drought. We can probably go ahead and mark all the areas that may end up being trees. If we click on you, we can't see the range yet. Okay, so once we see the range again, then we can actually do something. But yeah, I very much like having a completely full storehouse and full water before a drought comes. That's going to save us so much headache later on. And I'm going to go ahead and... Where are we? Plant crops. Boom. I keep filling up these spots as they come available, like that one that just came available. There we go. We maybe don't need it quite so much since we are totally full of food and there's food on the ground rotting. But, we'll burn through some of that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about as good as we can do for now. Come on, lumberjacks. Actually, we can probably go ahead and get rid of this lumberjack flag. And that should open up somebody down here. Yeah, that opened him up down here so you can start grabbing these. These are maples, so they're going to be 8 logs apiece. So it's going to go slow. but we should be getting our stuff pretty quick. Maples take the longest to grow, so I usually have a bit of maple and a bit of some of the faster growing trees. Let's take a look at those. So planting trees. We've got blueberries under trees, which is weird, but okay. We've got birch, which are fast. They're 9 days. We've got pine, which are not quite so fast, but give, one more log per at 12 days. And we've got maple. Takes 24 days to grow, but they give 8. So that's going to be good news for us. Okay. We only need 4 more logs. I'm pretty sure we're going to get that in the next maple that comes through. Yeah, it's already going through. And to get somebody to go there, we're going to pause that farmhouse. So we've got 1 unemployed, which is okay. That'll fill in the forester over here. And since we've got that surplus of carrots, then we should be able to last a little bit longer. I just wanted a couple extra farmers so that we would have that surplus of food when I knew that that drought was coming. So yeah, we're gonna see how we do through the drought, and once we're done with that, I think we're probably gonna call it an episode and come back to this again later if you like it. Yeah, look at all that food just piling up right there. Our beavers are gonna have a lot of carrots on their hands, and we actually have enough for stairs now. We can essentially double our space. Probably the most space efficient that I can think of. And yes, the drought has started, which means we've got no work being done and no planks. So we're a little bit high and dry on that right there. I wouldn't mind slapping down, say, a beaver powered. Don't like doing these because they take a whole beaver's job. Let's demolish the resources out in front of that. Then we can put in a path right there as soon as it's demolished. Yeah, when you delete a building, you don't get any of the resources back, so that's going to be a waste of 40 logs. That is not a small number. That is very much not a small number. Especially starting out like this. Yeah, you've still got something. We've got a child and... yeah. It's gonna be tight. Gonna be very tight. Okay. 8 of 40. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. So, once we start getting enough beavers, we're gonna put in a hauling post. Hauling posts are great. They're like really awesome. What they do is they're spare beavers that essentially shorten your workflow. So they shorten the amount of time it takes to get things from one place to another by actively doing that instead of just in time, just when it's needed, right? So they're a good force multiplier, but they take a lot of beavers. That said, since they do take a lot of beavers, they make a good worker reserve. So you can just pause the building and then unpause the building, and all of those workers will hop in somewhere else. Okay, so let's take a look at where the water is and where it's coming. Looks like it is flowing now, just flowing kind of slow. That's going to take a long time to get to us. So, water-wise, you kind of have to be prepared for the entire dry season and then some. Okay, we got a little bit of water coming from up top. If we eventually get up here and block this, that'll be totally fine. I don't think this is going to backflow toward us enough. I think it needs the flow from the other water source to actually get to us. So our crops are coming back to life, which is great. Can we actually pump this little bit of water? Because I'm pretty sure that we can. It's not enough to get our water wheel going. And of course, the water is back by the time that's an issue. Let's put a pause on that. We'll worry about that again later, if and when. Well, more when than if we need it. And yes, we can pump that water, and it's steady being replenished from up here. Does that flow all the way back down? Yeah, that makes it all the way out. May flood this whole valley. That would be cool. Let's see. I know we're short on wood, but as soon as this fills up, we're going to build all the way across, block that off, dam it off, so that we don't lose quite so much water quite so fast. And because of the way this is, I'm pretty sure if we just block off the far end, this will recede down into here. We need to dam off both sides. Okay, and power maybe? Power, yes. Okay, we got power. And we have made it to the end of the first drought. So I think that's probably where we're going to call it quits. And yeah, let me know what you like about this, what you don't like about this, if you want to see more of this kind of thing, and if you want to see what the final entry for the challenge is. Yeah. Well, it looks like that's going to do it for us today, guys. I wanted to say thank you for hanging around this long. If you did and you haven't already hit subscribe, please do. Just so you don't miss out on any of the other cool stuff coming on down the road. If you'd like to hang out with us, please hit us up on Discord. Link is in the About section on the channel, or you can go to discord.wonsnot.com, and I will see you guys in the next one.